Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call the February 25th meeting of the Village Fest Board to order. Staff, can we have a roll call, please?
Chair Roberts,
Present.
Vice Chair Ganell is currently absent. Board Member Anderson.
Here.
Board Member Garton is going to be absent today. Board Member Idell. Here. Board Member Alvarez.
Here.
Board Member Battersby is going to be absent, and Main Street Meredith is currently not here. We do have a quorum.
Have a quorum. Thank you. Are there any public comments this evening? Seeing none. Are there any board comments this evening?
No.
I would like to take a minute to welcome you all on behalf of the board for being here. It is you people who make Village Fest work and has worked for the past 30+ years. So thank you for being here. In a few minutes, we'll call you up one by one, and you'll have up to 5 minutes to make your pitch on why you should be included in Village Fest. We're a very friendly group, so if there's any nervous people about public speaking, don't be. You don't have to take 5 minutes, but you have up to 5 minutes. At which time we will stop you and ask you questions, and then we will deliberate and vote. To give you a little bit of insight, if you are in the arts and crafts category, we consider this to be an artisan fair, not an arts and crafts fair. So what that means to us is that we are looking for a minimum of 75% of you making 75% of the items you're selling. An example of that, strung beads on a chain are beautiful. However, we don't consider that artisan. If you polish those beads or drill those beads or wire wrap those beads or make clasps, that falls more into the category of an artisan item than it does an arts and crafts item. So that's what we'll be listening for if you're in that category. I'd like to also take a minute and update everyone. Yesterday, the board met in a off-site session. And the purpose of our meeting was to analyze data that we've collected. We worked in conjunction with the Palm Springs High School and some of their students to gather data that we feel will be helpful for us in guiding Village Fest going forward. So that meeting took place. It was a very good and promising meeting, and stay tuned. I think you'll see some positive changes coming out of what we analyzed, and we're working on some recommendations to make to City Council to make Village Fest viable for another 30 years. So I wanted to give everybody an update on that. Is there any correspondence?
We have none.
Seeing none. Can we have a motion to accept the agenda for this evening?
I'll make a motion that we accept the agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Let's vote. David?
Yes.
Antonio?
Yes.
I vote yes. Cheryl?
Yes.
Thank you. To approve the meeting from the February 11th meeting, we cannot move forward on that. Cheryl, you could not vote on this one, so we do not have a quorum. So we'll have to carry that to our next meeting, please. Hi, Joy.
Hi.
First up tonight is going to be Ted Toner. Ted is with DOH Creamery. Ted, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Hi, please come up.
My wife is also here.
She's welcome to join you if she'd like.
She's the better half.
Great. The microphone is on, so when you start speaking, our Sergeant at Arms, Board Member Anderson, will start the timer.
All right.
Okay.
So good evening. Thank you for having us here. We own Dough Creamery, dough in the sense of cookie dough. So what we do is we make cookie dough, we make ice cream. And we recently combined the two into ice cream bars. And we thought that Village Fest would be a great opportunity to showcase what we do. And we reached out to EJ Pudding, because we have a relationship with him because we're out in Temecula. He's in Murrieta. And we said, hey, what's this Village Fest all about? He's like, oh, you should come out. So we did. We came out. walked the streets and looked around, and we're like, okay, we have something that's unique. We don't know anybody that makes cookie dough ice cream bars. And we hand dipped them. We brought some samples for everyone to share, but we just think that we have something that we didn't see on the Village Fest thoroughfare. We saw dessert vendors, but not what we do.
Mhm.
And so we could bring our ice cream scoop, but we're like, we wanted to bring something unique that no one else has, but they're all her recipes. We make everything from scratch. Why don't you talk about your labor of love?
I grew up in a catering family, so I grew up and food has been my love language my entire life. My aunt was the chef, my mom was the bookkeeper, my mom can't cook much, she would tell you that herself. But my aunt will tell you I grew up at her knee in the kitchen. I worked with the catering company for most of my high school and then went into banking for many years, came back to food, fell in love with food again. We opened an ice cream shop, ice cream and cookie dough. We've pivoted to be fully mobile at this point, but I created all the recipes. It's all premium ice cream. It's all homemade food. It's all ingredients your grandma would remember. Nothing would scare her. We hand dip our bars. They have wonderful toppings on them. You'll see them when you have your samples. It's really it's one of my gifts is to give food to people, and we very much love what we do.
Any board comments or questions?
So is it cookie dough that you're gonna be serving?
No, it's an ice cream bar,
Uh-huh.
like a popsicle. It looks like a popsicle and it's ice cream with cookie dough center, hand dipped with the topping on it.
Gotcha. I'm sure you guys use pasteurized flour or do you pasteurize your own flour?
Oh, that's a great question. But we pasteurize our own. There's not a source on the West Coast that will guarantee you can always have a supply.
Hmm.
It's an East Coast pasteurization. I can get it, but I can't be guaranteed to have it. So we do heat treat our own flour to 160. I did all this scientific research at the beginning. Yes.
Yeah, that's a big
So-
one. People think you get salmonella from eggs. It's.
He knows.
Sunflower.
Yeah, see,
Flour is a scary one.
Yeah. yeah.
You get other things from flour that you don't get from raw egg.
Yeah.
We've been doing this 6.5 years. He's the first person that's ever,
Ever-
yeah, knows what he's talking.
Learned your key.
And the cookie dough is egg free, so there's that, but because it's just meant to be eaten, it was never meant to be baked, so that I reverse engineered it to have no egg. It has extra moisture, water,
Awesome.
so egg-free dough, heat treated flour,
That was my own
there
concern.
you go.
So, yeah, I just wanna make sure that was.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's great.
How will you keep things frozen?
Oh, we have a cart.
We have an ice cream cart that stays, keeps things frozen for 8 hours.
Mhm.
I know in the heat of the summer, it can take a beating, but
Thank you.
if I remember correctly, there is an outlet that we can plug into on the street. It's just a normal plug into the wall kind of outlet, so it's nothing fancy.
I think we should taste.
There you go.
For those of you in the audience, this is the best part of the job.
My husband always wants to know how much food I'm gonna be eating.
Dinner, yeah.
Is it just one flavor? or-
No, we brought 4 flavors.
We're working on the fifth.
So we have Oreo, yeah, which is Oreo ice cream, Oreo cookie dough, chocolate dip with Oreos on top. We have espresso yourself. I don't know, I make the product, he sells the product.
Good.
You wanna do this? You're ready
Okay,
to start.
so espresso ice cream with a snickerdoodle cookie dough center. It's topped with Biscoff cookies and a butterscotch drizzle.
Yeah.
And then we have the cotton candy craze. So it's cotton candy ice cream, sugar cookie at the center. Topped with the 3-ring animal circus or animal crackers and a white drizzle. And then we have the strawberry ice cream, red velvet center. And then it's got freeze-dried strawberries and a golden Oreo crumble with a pink drizzle. So everything we have is meant to catch your eye and scream artisan, you know, as far as making ice cream goes. So we brought a bunch of flavors, a bunch of each flavor. We can
go around.
go around, people like who wants
Please.
Oreo, who wants strawberry, but.
We're used to fighting over it. We've mastered that.
All right, so should I just pass the flavors around? And then
They all have the cookie dough scent.
they all have cookie dough for me.
Okay. In your packaging, do you happen to have calorie intakes and sugars? and-
No, we never got, we do have ingredients.
Okay,
We never did calorie count. The sales in our store didn't. You have to do 1 million in sales in a store
okay.
to have,
There we go.
to do that, and we just never did. It's a cost that state they put on us, and we could do it. I happen to have a son-in-law now.
There's a few more for them.
It wasn't at the time.
Sorry.
I could get calorie count if that's needed. We
Okay.
could back in.
It'll be a question.
Sure, yeah, we get asked that a lot, and I just never, we've not done it. We weren't prepared to do it, so.
Is it a couple hundred? Is it 1,000? Do you have any idea?
My guess is 400. That's my,
Less than a Big Mac.
yeah, that's my guess. That was my guess on ice cream,
Oh,
and
I
I,
brought scissors, would you like scissors?
Probably.
yeah.
And this is how they'll be packaged.
Yes,
there.
ma'am.
Will you have a label on them?
Yes, we
Okay.
can. We're working on labeling right now.
We have a food scientist that's helping us with the label because
Yeah.
I mean, is there a nut allergy? Is there a
all
whatever?
of that, it will be listed.
Okay,
And then we'll
Yeah.
have our logo on.
perfect.
Yeah.
Good, good,
Yeah.
because I don't know what flavor I have here. I always get the last choice. Same thing at
Espresso.
lunch.
It
Which
was
one?
Espresso.
Oh, sure, I need coffee all night. I'll have a strawberry one. Oh,
That one's cotton candy. The other one that has the pink on top with the chocolate, that one in your left hand is strawberry.
I'm a
It might be a
strawberry.
little bit firmer than normal because we packed it in dry ice.
Yeah, the dry ice
All
is
good.
super cold.
They're really good. Very yummy.
Before I say this.
We have extra for
I know.
people in the audience wants it.
Mhm.
Extra.
Okay, we're ready to vote.
Delicious.
Well,
You've got a mouthful.
I love ice cream.
Mhm.
Any other board questions?
make a motion.
How about a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept Doe Creamery into the village.
I
Sure.
second.
Let's vote. David,
Our meeting. Yes.
Antonio,
Yes.
Yum, yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you so
Welcome to
much.
Village Fest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want, does anybody want those bars?
No, you might as well
Okay,
put them
I'll
back.
take those one back.
They're not gonna laugh at that.
Yeah, these ones are good.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Could have been here on time.
Thank
You're not
you.
minding?
We lose scissors all the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's the next item.
Faith will coordinate with you. She's giving you some
So you're
instructions.
just gonna email me.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all on there.
Okay.
I'm big.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Communicating by phone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very good.
Absolutely.
Would anyone want a bar? I have extra.
I think the last one going, so I think it's gonna melt, so just save for them.
Yeah, there's.
Next.
Yeah. All right, next up is, I hope I pronounced this correctly. Atai Hazan. Hanson.
well, very good.
Did I do well?
Yeah.
Please come up. Okay. Apologies. Yeah.
Sorry, they already won.
What do you mean?
I told you guys to save them.
I know.
I'm right.
You did.
Oh, he's up.
You're like,
Fortunately, I don't have too many small pieces. This is one. So these are carved from serpentine stones and this is the outer face of the rock and then after shaping, then it's sanded and then washed and heated and polished using floor wax. So most of my pieces are a bit larger, so this was just the one that was manageable. So, yeah. As far as why I think I should be accepted into Village Fest, I know no one has anything like this and nobody does anything like the work that I do. Not that it's better or worse, it's just my style, and I have no idea if people there will like it or not, but I know no one has anything like it. So it's, as far as having something that no one else does, I know that's a good point for a show, for an event, that you don't want the same copies of the same things, and yeah. So
David, that's right. Can
Yeah.
you tell us how you got interested in it and how much effort and time goes into it?
okay, well, I mean, I drew and made things all my life,
Mhm.
and I actually while working in Zimbabwe, doing anti-poaching actually on a black rhino conservancy, nothing to do with this. I met artists and stone sculptors, and so I learned from them. I've
Mhm.
been working there for many years. A piece like this, the shaping part doesn't take the general shaping, probably about 3-4 days. But then a lot of time is the sanding. So the details. So I don't know. I brought some of my tools, but I use Dremel. I use discs and grinders and Dremels, and so that I can do the work a bit faster. But then after the general shaping is done, then I use a file, and so the file will it'll be like a it'll be not smooth. It'll be like I don't know how to explain it, like a sandy texture. Yeah, like there'll be a grit. So then from there, then it's sandpaper. This is a softer stone. So for that one, then I use sandpaper from the roughest grit to the finest. And that's where it's a little bit more time consuming. But yeah, and then wash all the dust off and heat with a blowtorch, and then apply a clear floor wax, and it melts into the stone, and then when it cools down, then I buff it out. So that's what brings out the color. So this isn't painted, this is the natural color of the stone. It's as if you found a beautiful stone in water, and then when it's dry, it's just gray. I don't know if you ever collected rocks like I used to in the water. But the rock is just gray when it's not in water.
Mhm.
Or the pavement, when it rains, it darkens. So that is being captured with the heat and the wax. So that's the process.
I've got a question. What about, are you gonna ship that for people? Like, cause in
I
that,
do
sense, a
ship.
small piece, I can't see someone carrying it around. So it's-
Yeah, I do ship and I deliver locally for some of my bigger pieces, but that has been an issue for people. Obviously, there are going to be a lot of people who, especially with the rising cost of shipping in the last since COVID, that is where I lose sales if somebody doesn't want to pay the shipping. But there are people who do. So, and you know, that's so yeah, I mean, it's like
Yeah, it's
anything.
gotta be costly to ship.
It is, yeah. Yeah, but it, you know, it's just the nature of the business. So, but hopefully, I mean, we have locals. A lot of my clients are snowbirds and people who have homes here, and so they can, have their piece for a home here as well.
Were some of the pictures that you have there, was that from the Lakota Art Fair?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look familiar.
yeah, those are a lot bigger, those pieces.
What's the smallest piece that you have?
Probably this.
Yeah.
This is this would be the smallest piece. Yeah. I don't have anything smaller than that.
So you don't need to go to the gym, do you?
It definitely it affects your back, and I have a shoulder issue, but I have tools that I use to lift things. I have a hydraulic lift cart in my warehouse, and so I'm able to move huge pieces of stone by myself now. So that's
Do you show elsewhere?
technology. No, I just came back. I went to the Tucson Gem Show for the first time, but in the Valley, no, I don't. Not at
Okay.
the moment. No.
What size pieces will you be showcasing at Village Fest? We have large ones as well, and if so, how are you getting them?
Yeah, but not my biggest. I probably about this
Tabletop
size and yeah, they're manageable and so it won't be a big display. A few pedestals, a table. But and also the issue with the time that is allotted for setup and breakdown. So I've thought of that and so I'm gonna yeah, but nothing is gonna be I mean, I won't be able to do it. So I'm working now on pieces that are more manageable. So, yeah,
I have two questions.
yes.
When you started, was that your vision or did it evolve into that piece?
In this piece, no, this was a design that this is a different, so there's some of my pieces, I'll go to the mountain and find the rock and I see something in the rock and that's the shape that I want to do, and I can just see it from some texture or curve in the rock. This is something I was trying to come up with something that was like a good wedding, anniversary, Valentine's Day gift that is still one of a kind, but is more affordable for most people as opposed to the thousands of dollar pieces. So I knew what I wanted to do with this piece of stone. So this is a design that I have different ones, some without the part of the heart exposed right here, and it's just the rock. And so those are things that I kind of knew what I wanted. So I do both, and yeah.
In my opinion, you're definitely an artisan. And I would hope that, should you be approved for Village Fest, that you will tell the story of how you come to this. Because I find it fascinating, and I think people will look at it and say that's beautiful, but your story is really, really important.
Thank you. Yeah, that's something I'm working on, also trying to build a website and tell the story online, because so much is online. And so I'm better talking to people. If somebody shows interest, then I can explain about it and about the stone, and I can kind of feed off of their interest. If they, they ask questions, and I can explain more. But yeah, talking one-on-one to someone, I can do that. But it is important. You're right. I mean, that's, yeah.
Dan, does that look the same on the back, or is the back?
No,
Wow.
so this brown is well, it's all the outer face of the rock, but you can see these lines here.
Yes.
So that's from the punch, which is not a chisel, it's like a big nail. And also scars from the rock, from the mountain. I mean, we're digging these out of a mountain, and so you are gonna get scars from just the journey that it takes getting out of the ground and being in a truck and bouncing along and traveling to, other places. But the brown is where the part that's exposed to the earth. And so that's, oxidation, billions of years exposed to the earth. And then you go beneath the surface and then you get the gray and then the color that is exposed. So
I
yeah.
like
And
both sides, I think it's.
yeah, there's no front or back.
Everything is okay.
The
Yeah.
pedestals were an interesting addition to it as well, too, if you saw the photos. So it's nice. Did you sell
Thank
those
you.
as well?
I'm
Do you
sorry.
sell the pedestals as well?
I have in the past, but they have gotten expensive. I've made some, I've bought some
That's
from
even
galleries
worse than
going out of
shipping.
business. I have a company online that I buy from, but they are pricey. So if a client needs a pedestal, then I usually either I do it or I connect them with this company in Colorado that, they ship it. But I always find a solution. If somebody likes a sculpture, I find a solution for the pedestal. Yeah.
Two quick questions. Could you be commissioned if I wanted to have two parents and two kids or two dogs?
Yeah.
Like something like that?
Yeah, dogs are a little tricky, but
I don't know,
but-
families are.
No, I do have one that it's kind of the silhouette of the dog in front of the couple.
Okay.
But I would have to see the drawing but generally, yes,
So you can't do a schnauzer, no?
yeah, and the curly haired dogs, the poodles and things, that's a little bit of a tricky.
And one last question, what does the word mayave mean?
I kind of made it up. It was called Metamorphosis in Stone. I called my business, but that was too long and for the internet, and actually a lot of Americans don't know how to spell metamorphosis. So I was raised by a British mother, and she was very particular about spelling and
story.
all that.
Good.
But yeah, it was too long.
All right.
Joy, please.
I wanted to ask you a question. I know
Yeah.
that you said that you don't have a website.
I do have a website, but not that focuses on specifically my work. I'm working on that. So, cause
Because
I,
the website clearly shows multiple craftspeople.
Right.
Making the items.
their items, yes, but not these, and not the work that you saw at
And
the
you
La
are
Quinta Art
actually
Festival.
on That website as well. At first I thought maybe I had the wrong website.
No, well, I mean, it's my business and I've worked with them for 20 years,
Do
so.
you sign any of your pieces?
I sign all of them. I didn't sign this one yet, but I do, but I sign all of them. Yeah, all my pieces are signed. Yeah.
Any other board questions? Are we ready for a motion? I think we are.
I'll make a motion that we accept Mayave into Village Fest.
I'll second.
David, let's vote. Cheryl,
Yes.
Dan,
Yes.
yes, Antonio,
Yes.
David,
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank
Welcome to
you.
Village Fest.
Thank you.
Beautiful work. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, really
Thank you.
beautiful. Next up will be Gulliver Nunez. How about Carlos Marquez?
Thank you.
Sonny Smith. Hi. Good.
I'm here.
Third time's a charm. Welcome.
Love public speaking.
Good.
Kidding. But, so,
I think we have a tree over here.
okay,
Okay, so I'll let you know.
my name is Sunny. And, I am a light worker, healer, and glass artist. So if you're into like world peace and stuff, I'm your guy. So I make, I started out. No, we don't need to go all the way there. I carve dichroic glass. Probably can catches your eye a little bit. So you've seen dichroic glass, but I make sheets of it and then I'll grind out different shapes. Kind of has gone more towards the spiritual designs like spirals and hearts and moons. Because I like to talk with my customers. They come, they're attracted to my booth, and we talk spirit for a second, or just light, life, and that's what keeps me coming. It's not like all about the money for me. I really like connecting with my people. So I have a one of a kind product that my teacher said you can't use that tool for that. And I've been doing it for 20 years. So you cut them up and then it lets the light in on the side. Yeah, I also sandblast some of the colors. And you could kind of pop that open and I can't stop like all the designs, you know, there's 6 that I do, but then I'll always try new stuff because it's endless. Yeah. I've been at Portland Saturday Market for 20 years. And there's this thing called seasonal depression. Right now it's pouring down rain for a couple months. So I have a fun little booth. And they come and we chat and a lot of times people will get emotional even. If they're sensitive to energies, high vibration. Now these, I actually finished this last night in the middle of the desert. I mean, we are in the desert, yes, but I was up by Joshua Tree and I brought my whole studio in a school bus. I packed up shop and took off. I had a 3-bedroom house and an acre. And I don't know, that was, I didn't have a winter gig. The Saturday Market was closed and there's nothing around. So I have friends that come down to your show. He told me about it. Like, yeah, so God bless. And, but what I really kind of want to do is I tested it yesterday, fired this. The generator and the kiln, the Joshua tree is the background. But something we could do, because I want to do a hands-on thing where I have a kiln and people could make, like I brought like different colors and in the tubs and you can cut it and fire it. And at the end of the show, pick it up because it takes 4.5 hours. So that's something we can think about. But these get a little, goes on a copper thing, you stick it in the garden. And at the dollar store, they have the solar lights. Now, I was trying to mount it in there. But it's so easy to stick in the ground, it lights it perfectly.
I'm so not following at all.
You gotta,
I'm lost.
He's making the material that's made out.
No, but I'm lost.
I was saying if you put a light on
Then you can put a light.
oh, yeah. Light it up all night in the garden. It's
Got it.
beautiful. It's crazy amazing. And you could do it for $1. And I was gonna like do this. Big build out and these, you put on the fence. See, I didn't have time this one last night. But, you stick them on the fence, right? Or in your garden. Yes.
We're 4 minutes.
Okay. Cool. I'm done.
Would you explain what dichroic glass is?
Yeah, that growth was a happy accident that NASA ignored. So they had this beautiful rainbow space shuttle when they come back. And they scraped all the tiles off and put it in a pile. And it sat there for 5 years. And they're like custodian guy or the guy that actually met discovered it and said, "What the hell is this? And let's reverse engineer it." Spent millions, figured out how to get these colors because it changes in the angle. That's what dichro means. It's like, it means like different color. Sorry. Different color. It's a science term. So it came from NASA and then somebody discovered it and reverse engineered it. It's like more expensive than gold by weight. A lot of artists don't play with it like I do. I buy the full sheets. And I don't have any pieces left, but on my website, I do the Rainbow Bridge chakras. It's a balance thing. People like those a lot. And this is kind of a newer one I wanted to do because I love gardening and they're really quite amazing in the garden. I didn't pass that around, but you saw it? My time is up.
We're at 5:30.
Thank you. Are there any board questions? Comments?
What is the process of carving the glass?
Diamond plated ring saw, Taurus. That's the one my teacher said you can't use to do that. It's made for stained glass, the thin. So it takes a little longer and it costs more, but it's ground out. So it's a 3-day process. I fire a sheet on the kiln and then I'll pick my favorite spot, grind the shape, fire it into fire polish, and then sometimes sandblast. Shaded. That's that.
Year round or seasonal? What are your plans?
Well, seasonal. But I don't want to go back. I swear. I'd go.
Good answer.
So I'm gonna keep going with the bus.
Okay.
And but they, they love me there. It's family, but you guys, it's out of control. And I tried to help. But here, right, remember since 2004 and oh, it's sad. I mean, it's just emotional. Woo! Oh, I didn't realize.
Any other board questions? Are we ready for a motion?
I'm ready.
Well, Sonny, I'm sorry to say there's not a motion on the floor.
I have a question. Do you have enough inventory or how big is your inventory? Everybody knows it.
70 grand.
So again, about.
I mean,
how many
that's
pieces?
a year. I had a year's worth with me, plus ones that are half done. So I planned on a year's worth of inventory.
Gotcha. And you'd be here seasonally through when, just through the end of summer? or-
Yeah, cause I was planning on going back up there. I mean, I did really good in sales. It was just, I wanna venture to, put a home base down here in the sun for the winters. That was my plan, kind of a traveling,
So wrap up,
following the sun.
wrap up end of April, like most people,
Well,
most snowbirds do, and then come back in.
oh, what, you guys had the thing, it said like
It's year
October
round.
through
I mean,
May.
we do it 12 months a year,
Yeah.
but some vendors choose to only come during winter months. We just
Oh,
wondered
yeah,
what
no,
your-
it wasn't seasonal. It wasn't seasonal.
Just for clarification, the October to May is one schedule, and then May through September is a different schedule, just so we just start later because it stays light later, it's hot later,
Okay.
that's why, but it's another
Oh,
year. It's a
seasonal.
12-month event. Every Thursday.
Don't imagine I'd wanna leave, you know. Doesn't it get 120 here?
Yeah.
So,
And
but
then
it-
some.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
even
how do you
more.
go outside at that point?
But no clouds.
Yeah. Let us
I've
move
got a
forward.
question. I do have a question. So I see you've got an Etsy store.
Yes.
You just like glass. So I see on here you've got only 31 items. Do you keep certain things for your Etsy?
No,
store?
I just packed up a 3-bedroom house and moved into a bus. So literally 3 months of life change. So I sold them all. I keep it at 80. Usually, and that's been paying for my gas too, but I have got it organized now where I can work out of it better. In fact, the front half of it's a little gallery with the bigger pieces. And a lot of visions, but we'll see.
Thank you. Is there a motion, please? Or did you have a question?
No, but so you would still be able to make more pieces?
Yeah, no, I have a home base.
Yeah.
And
Locally,
a storage up there full of all my raw of everything.
but here,
I can make
locally,
it here.
You can make it here.
Ton.
Yeah.
A ton. I could do 2 years without having to go home and pick up my raw materials, but I can also drive to CBS.
Yeah.
I'm closer now than I ever, or the Dicroic maker.
And do you be able to fire them here?
Yeah, in my kiln.
Yeah,
Um,
killing in the.
In the bus?
Yeah. That's what I was kind of
He
trying
just
to,
fired in Joshua Tree last night.
Huh?
He fired that piece in Joshua Tree last night in his kiln.
Oh,
get
okay.
into the moon.
He said he wants to bring the kiln to the village.
Well, I could. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
so
kind of an
possible.
option
Is that?
that would have been kind of interesting. to
That
think
might-
about.
Yeah, we would need to work
Yeah.
through that with the fire marshal.
Think about
And
that.
electrical, yeah. Is there a motion on the floor, please?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we accept speed of light glass.
Is there a second? Seeing none. Sunny, I'm sorry. If there's not a second to the
No.
motion, we cannot vote.
Okay,
So thank you very much for being here.
not for you guys.
Can we address why we're?
No, I listen to the universe.
This is good.
I mean, at least that gives staff some feedback as to how we should move forward with vendors of this nature.
I
Is
got a
there
suggestion.
feedback from the board?
Well, I'm a little confused, to be honest. Of how the production can happen out of the bus.
Okay, so should we ask him for more documentation on how that's happening?
Yeah. Yeah, I need to understand, I think my
Made a
issue,
video.
why I didn't second, is because I see how much inventory is here, and that could easily go in 1 or 2 weeks, right, 1 or 2 nights.
One night.
And I'm not really sure where more production comes from at that point. So I'm more concerned about him actually having inventory.
Okay, is there any other feedback?
That's same for me. That's why I was making sure you had enough inventory to be able to last more than just a couple of weeks with Village Fest. It's very busy between now and the end of April. Extremely busy.
This was my destination.
Mhm.
So everything I did, I in the back of my mind, I should have like applied earlier maybe, but I know I had to be down here so I had to be down here.
Have you
So,
been to Village Fest before?
have I? No, a couple of friends, but
That's a
Um,
little bit of my concern is that I'm not. It didn't indicate that a couple people had referred him, but this is a whole new environment. And I don't know what it was.
So I want the board to consider what the purview is in terms of what it is that we review and approve. And if the product is, or if you deem it 75% handmade or not.
Yes.
Inventory is not actually written into our
I got that
guidelines for the
handled.
board's purview. Whether it's a handmade product to your liking is.
And in my mind,
Let me answer Jessica.
say that again.
I have to answer her, yes, that it is to my liking. Yes, I like the product. I think it's beautiful. I think they're really cool. I think it's something that would sell. But, it's not. We're looking for also consistency with vendors, and I just feel like it's a 2 or 3 week stint. And then it's not there, but it's not an issue. I don't know.
I found the presentation to be confusing. I think what we saw is very nice, but I found it to be confusing, and I'm a little bit unsure of the craftsmanship, the 75% that went into the making of the product.
Okay, so that.
So had the
is
process
part of the
been
purview.
from the process been a little bit more clear to me, and how the product was made, I could see moving forward, but at this point in time, and I think the board agrees, please, if you're so inclined, come back, work on your presentation and convince us.
I wasn't told I had to do a presentation. I'm an artist and was showing my art. I was like, what's going off?
Part of what we do is
No, I know.
jewelry vendors, so, and to demonstrate, how you made your product. You were asked what dichroic glass came from, and, even that explanation to me, I asked the question, was a little bit confusing. For someone who makes the product from that material.
That's because I don't speak. I like got the ADD in my things. I go through my
well,
work, so it doesn't really
okay.
matter. I don't want to do the show now. That's for sure.
Okay,
So we're good.
all right.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, my time. Thank you.
To be able to give people feedback.
Yeah. Understood. Fair. Yeah.
If they keep on want to say, this is what you can do to better the process.
And I will say that the show that he came from in Portland, we have, the vendors there have brought about 3 or 4 vendors from there, and they're not here all the time. They pop in here and there.
Okay.
So you don't have to be at Village Fest for a month or a week. Some of them come in just as they're driving through town. We just had one last week that was here for 2 weeks, gone, and then you may see him in a few months or next.
I didn't know that.
So,
Okay.
yeah, they don't have to participate every week.
But then how does the fee work for that?
They pay a standby rate.
Oh,
Which is in
I
that fee
I
structure.
didn't know there was a standard.
There is.
But to be clear, I think it's incumbent on people applying for Village Fest to demonstrate the artisan craft. We started with that and said, convince us that you belong in Village Fest.
I knew when I asked about the process, it was a little. I mean, to your point, it wasn't explained that it was 75% made. I understand that he carves it, but where is the glass coming from?
Yeah.
Where is it clasped and everything else?
What was the connection to NASA?
Yeah, we gotta.
Yeah, we need to move on, but anyway, the next up is Sylvia Aguilar. Sylvia, hi. Please come up. I saw you practicing in the parking lot.
Oh.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Naila Aguilar. I'm 19 years old, almost 20, and I'm a music major. Right now I'm studying in COD, but hopefully trying to transfer to a university and accomplish my music education degree. I've been singing since as long as I can remember, and I played at family cafes, and I really want to be part of this fest because I want to deliver my music. I'm very passionate at this, and yes, I'm just looking for the opportunity to do it.
Very good.
Do you guys want me to play something?
Yeah.
Would love it.
Oh, my genres varies from pop, classic rock, and especially Spanish songs like mariachi. So I'm gonna sing a Spanish song. It's called La Llorona. I hope you guys like it. Salías de un templo un día, llorona, cuando al tú te vi. Salías de un templo un día, llorona, cuando al pasar yo te vi. Hermoso y vil llevabas, llorona, cuando la Virgen te creí. Hermoso y vil llevabas, llorona, que la Virgen te creí. Ay de mí, llorona, 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 un campo santo. Ay de mí, llorona, 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 un campo santo. El que no sabe de amores, llorona, no sabe lo que es martirio. El que no sabe de amores, llorona, no sabe lo que es martirio. Sorry, I got nervous there.
Wow. I have no idea what you were saying, but I had the chills.
Yeah.
Do you guys want me to speak it, sing in English?
Do you write your own music as well?
I do, but generally the songs that I will be playing are cover songs. Yeah.
Sure.
English.
Something contemporary or popular
Okay,
or different or something you're
I'll just
passionate
sing
about.
a cappella. At first I was afraid, I was petrified. Kept thinking I could never live without you by my side. And I spent so many nights feeling sorry for myself. I used to cry, but now I hold my head up high and you see me, somebody new. I'm not that chained up little person still in love with you. And so you felt like dropping in, expecting me to be free. Well, now I'm saving all my loving for someone who's loving me. Go on, now go, walk out the door. Just turn around now, cause you're not welcome anymore. When you're the one who try to hug me with goodbye, you think I crumble, you think I lay down and die. Oh no, no, I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I stay alive. I got all my life to live, and I got all my love to give. I will survive. I will survive. I will survive.
Questions?
Put the guitar down. You're fabulous.
Actually, I will be, my setup is mainly my speaker with a PA, and I will have tracks that I'm equalizing right there. So it's gonna be much easier for me to sing.
Don't you, Kira, know that she has competition?
I have to tell you, you know, one of our famous performers was Abby Carter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who won American Idol.
Yeah.
She was quite a performer here in
We started at Village Fest.
Oh, cool. That's great.
How long have you been singing?
Oh my God. Probably since I was 6 years old.
Trained professionally?
Trained professionally about 4 years, I think.
Awesome.
Yeah. Mhm.
You're very talented.
Thank you so much.
I think,
Why wait another second?
I think we're ready for a motion.
I'm gonna make a motion that we accept this young lady into Village Fest. She's
I'll second.
amazing.
Congratulations.
Let's vote, Cheryl.
Yes, absolutely.
Dan.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
Antonio, David.
Now, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank
Beautiful
you for the
job.
opportunity.
Beautiful.
What's next?
Oh, we just emailed me.
Blow me away.
Email?
To get you
Okay.
the-
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good
Congratulations.
one.
Do that. Thank you.
No confidence.
Violet, I'm gonna try this. Tashayan,
Close, Tashin.
Tasha.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so I am Violet Tashin, born and raised in Los Angeles. I'm Armenian. I have a degree in interior design architecture, and I still do that. I build homes and I work very closely with architects. My business for clothing started probably right when the pandemic was, but it wasn't a business. I just I was bored, and artsy person can't be bored. So I started making hoodies for me. And when I was walking around, this one lady was like, take that off, I want it. So she bought it off of me. And I made a couple more, I started getting orders. And then that's how my business kind of grew. And I've only been doing this for about maybe a little bit more than a year and a half. My first market was Artists and Fleas in Venice Beach. And then I started doing little craft fairs. And from that, I got into the Mondrian Hotel boutique shop, One Hotel boutique shop, Market out here, Pick Me Up. So it's growing. And then I made friends with stylists. They come to the flea markets in Venice Beach a lot. And they got my work on Jeffrey Ross. He does he's a comedian and he does the Roast Fest. I don't know if you heard of those. He's really big. He's one of the biggest comedians. And then Bethany Frankel, the stylist started getting them onto celebrities, but it's still a very small business. And then I got into the kids because some of my clients were like, you have to do kids. And I personally thought, I don't have a child. I have a dog who I call a child. But I thought Zara and Target and H&M had that market curved for kids. So I wasn't getting into it. But and then they were like, no, you have to do it because all the cute things go fast. And then kids, the market is big and we can't get cute things for kids. So I started doing that. And then I went to the Brentwood Farmers Market and the moms just loved it. And then I do jewelry as well. And then, yeah, and I paint on clothes this one, I did, and then I'll show you, should I go and show you all the items? Okay, so these are, and another big thing, where I get my clothes from. So I go to sample sales and I get the samples that are ready to go in the trash bins. So these are samples that have holes in them. They have mismatched sleeves, the bottom line, they probably went wrong and they're just waiting for it to either be sold, big names like Los Angeles Apparel or Mad Happy or things like that. And I make sure cotton is purchased from LA and the item is actually made in LA. So I get them, I save them from going to the trash. So I get them for rock bottom prices. So one of the pieces is this. However, I put, all of the embroidery patches on. Some of the patches are my own. So there is the Los Angeles Apparel has an embroidery making machine. I take my design and I make it into a patch. It's their machine. It's a $15,000 machine. I don't have space to get it, but they let me use it. So I have a good relationship with them. And then since I buy the pieces already made, I can't use a sewing machine. So everything is hand done. A piece like this would take me 9 hours to hand sew. So I really put a lot of work into the pieces, and drawing this it took me probably 5-6 hours because fabric soaks in paint. And then you have to do layer by layer, and then you have to stretch it and then paint within. So when you stretch it, it doesn't show empty, spots. So it's you have to lay it down for it to dry and then just go over and over again. And some of mine have glitter on it too. And that's the very last process. But these take 5 to 6 hours to paint, and these take about 9 hours to hand sew.
4 minutes.
And then I have some of these are my best-selling dresses. And then I have them in different different styles. And then I have skirts. And then you see the line going through, that's one of the damages that this skirt had. And then I'm really big on Heavy cotton, shorts, and everything is unisex, so it doesn't have to be, gender, specific. And then these ones too, they take me about 12 hours, like to hand sew, like all of it. If you could see, there's like a different pattern, like underneath that I covered up. And, yeah, so I hand sew all of these details. Jackets go really fast. When I make jackets, they fly. And then I have these ones like garment dye hoodies. Which they're all hand done, hand sewn. And these are like some of my exclusive design. And then I have like the kids ones too.
Oh,
And then I have these in
adorable.
different colors and then it's like hand dyed.
So,
Yeah.
no.
So
Is that a
it's one,
onesie?
yeah, it's a onesie. So it's like one pattern and I just make it over and over again in different colors. And then I just put like designs on it. So it could be like matching and I do custom things too all the time. Like if a mom comes and says, I want like a flower hoodie for me and a flower like onesie for the child, I make it and then I ship it.
Yeah.
Or they come and pick it up next market. And then I do, the fabrics of these I get from downtown LA and and they're all unisex. I like these ones too.
When you, I've got a question, when you say the fabrics from that, so you're getting like a bolt of fabric.
I get,
and then
yeah. Yeah, I
you're
get
making
fabrics
it.
from downtown LA. And like, see, like this is like similar, but it's not, cause like this big one didn't fit in the kids one, but I found a similar one and they're all the same fit, like they're all like one pattern. But I just make a whole bunch of different fabrics and I make like matching.
Can you pass those around?
Yeah.
So Violet, just to be clear, you said you get the fabric. Did you make that shirt?
The shirt is made by me, the fabric I get,
However, the dresses were,
they're all upcycled. So
Upcycled.
I shop sample sales, mostly Los Angeles apparel.
so
Meg
some you
Happy.
make,
Yes.
fully, others you,
And yes,
Yeah.
some I make, and then these ones too. These ones my mom, so
that's great.
so these I purchased, like the little
Yeah.
decorations, but this is hand done.
That's the.
We didn't see
the
jewelry.
And then I have t-shirts. These are my designs as well. So these are also upcycled. Like all of these shirts have imperfections on them. I get them from like the sample bins. Like this one has like this little mark right here, but these designs are mine and I mostly do my dog. And then it's screen printed. And this one. Yeah, it's my little Brody.
Violet, you mentioned jewelry.
Yes.
Are you
Yeah,
going
and
to
then I
sell?
have jewelry here. So these are the ones, and again, like, I know you said something about beading. I do these, like I put them on the beads. And then these ones, I don't know if you want to pass around. And these ones are beads too. So I put the clasp like in the center. So all of these are piece by piece. So I put the clasp. And then these are all beaded like silver, stainless steel, like the beaded balls. And yeah.
Convince us that you made at least 75% of that item.
Of this?
Yes.
I bought I bought everything separately and then I just like put it all on. So I shop downtown LA and I find pieces I could work with. And then I sit there and I beat it and I put the little clasp with like my pliers. Yeah.
I would have to say that I would not be convinced that that would be an artisan item.
Oh,
However, it doesn't matter. Your clothing is fabulous. If you ask
thank
me.
you. The reason why I do this, you know why? Because a lot of my sales come from these pieces because I could keep these at like $39, $49. My hoodies, these are $389 with the 2 sleeve designs.
Yeah.
And then the 1 sleeve designs are $289. So at a market, so the most I've sold at one market, like one day of show, is probably like 6 pieces. But that was like a good, like a good day. But sometimes I only maybe sell one or maybe two. So, and then I need to like make money with like my t-shirts make a lot of money for me. But at events, some people find it like a reach, you know, like a little bit expensive.
Yeah.
But and then it takes so much time to hand sew. But and then I have consistent people who buy like once a month. They just come and order hoodies like once a month and they love it. I have a really good clientele base. It's just that these are expensive. So that's why I do like the t-shirts and the kids and that, just so I could like continue doing this. But this is where my passion is, like the hoodies and different
Board
designs.
questions, comments? Dan, I think you have something you want to.
I have two questions. One is, so this was hand knitted by you or?
No, my mom. My mom does that. And then, I'm sorry, my mouth is so dry. I've been like sitting here and I drove here from LA, so, it's fine.
All right, so does this qualify if her mother knits it?
Yeah, my mom
And
knits,
she buys applications?
yeah, and I buy that. Cause she helps me, you know, I'm never like sitting there and like not doing anything. So if I'm watching TV, I'm like sewing. And when my mom is next to me, that came the very latest because my mom was next to me and she goes, oh, you know, in our meeting, we used to like make all of our clothes and we crocheted our hats and our dresses and this. And then she started doing it. And then like, you know, she just kind of like, when she's there, she's normally there with my dad. And she just kind of like gets happy when her stuff like sells.
I don't question if that was handmade, but the real question I guess I have is, doesn't qualify as qualification. Unless, you know, if you and your mother are in business together and she's in the booth with you. and-
She's not in business. No, I wouldn't, no, please. Please don't do that.
And my other question was about the
But the
embroidery.
season of that is probably already over anyways. I'm not gonna bring any of those.
Was about the embroidery, so.
Yeah.
Are you embroidering appliques and sewing them on, or are you embroidering actually on the fabric?
I tried embroidering on the fabric. I did not like how it looked.
Okay,
So
so those are appliques, like that.
these
thing
are
on the
all
sleeve.
appliques,
What about
yeah.
the sleeve?
No, the sleeve it's like an applique, but it's more on a mesh. It's not like on a thicker felt material on this. This is the same applique as this. You can see it clearly here. It's the same one. So this is on mesh and I sew like all exterior and then I sew the interiors as well.
Get it.
Yeah.
Applique is your design?
The applique, this is not my design. I got it. However, you know, it takes forever to actually hand sew, you know, on these pieces. That's the thing. And the hoodie is it's upcycled.
No.
Yeah, so.
Have you
And I
designed
have
your
a-
own application before?
I have designed my own
Yeah.
appliques before, it's just, I didn't bring it with me, and the patches too, I have like, some of these patches are like my exclusive patches, like I have a cat that's a Sphinx. And it's my patch, and I have like a lot of other patches too,
okay.
but I mix it with the ones I buy and I mix it with the ones I make. Because making a patch is actually kind of expensive, because it's not only you coming up with a design and me designing, like, let's say my dog, which I have a patch of my dog, but it's giving it to a computer programmer
Yeah.
to put it in a way, save it in a file that the patch
patch
machine understands that file. So I was finding all of this out. So you have to pay like a couple people to make your vision into a process that the machine understands how to read that. And this is that too. That's why I don't have so many of my own, because it's so expensive to get like your vision to here. You have to pay so many programmers to have the machines.
Let us move
Yeah.
on. Joy,
Okay.
I think
I
there's a
just,
question.
yes, I just had a question about the other jewelry there. So you told us about the necklaces, but are those bracelets there as well?
Yeah, so these are all beads as well, if you wanna pass it around. And yeah, and all of these too.
So are they just assembled, strongly assembled and then clapped on, or are you doing anything beyond that? Are you wire wrapping or knotting? Are you knotting between the beads or anything like that?
Those ones, I get the beads and I put it on like the stretchy material. So those ones, yeah, I just like beat it and then I tie the stretchy material like on the inside. However, like these ones, like the necklaces, I have like clasps. I put clasps on it. Just depends on the design. Like it just depends on the design of the actual bracelets. And like these ones too, like I did the beading. Yeah, it just depends on the design, I guess.
Any other board questions or comments?
I think that the jewelry does not meet our guideline of being 75% handmade. Because, and I don't remember if you said it precisely that way today, but we're generally very clear that if you're taking beads and just stringing them.
But it's only
Assembly.
those, but it's only these ones that are strung, but these ones all like have clasps and stuff, like this one has a clasp.
But there's
this
not
one-
clasps in between each piece or anything unique to make it.
Oh.
Like if you were knotting the beads, kind
Yeah.
of like pearls, like
Uh-huh,
knotting pearls, if you were wire wrapping, if you were
Yeah.
making your own clasp, any of that qualifies as handmade. This all qualifies as assembly.
assembly.
Yeah,
Mhm,
those are all
okay.
assembled. So you basically take items, disassemble them and you're done.
Well, yeah, I take different like, yeah, pieces and then I just like kind of put it together. But I use pliers.
So Violet, just to understand, I think we're probably ready to make a motion,
Okay,
but I believe that motion will exclude.
the
your
jewelry,
Is
okay.
Which is
that,
gonna be a problem for her. 'cause
is that a problem for you?
It's not a big problem, but people love my jewelry. Cause I always have new ones and I always have like different designs. It's not a big problem, but the people will be missing
It's not a
out.
question of the jewelry
Yeah.
being very nice. It's a question of meeting the standards that
Yeah.
we've set. And your clothing speaks for itself,
Okay.
in my estimation. So if,
I use little round rings that I open with pliers. Is that still assembly?
yeah, no, well, it may be, but it's not 75% minimally. And I think we're not
Okay.
convinced of that. So if you are so inclined, we will make a motion
Hmm.
and probably approve your clothing.
Okay.
If that's okay with you.
That's okay with me. However, in the future, could I make jewelry in front of you so you could see?
You would
how I
have to
do?
come back to us.
Okay.
And demonstrate and convince us that that was the case
Uh-huh.
before you could sell it, so.
Okay,
Uh.
yeah, I'm okay with like the clothing being approved, and then when I'm ready, cause I'm coming from LA, if I had it in my car, I'll be like, hold on, let me go bring it from my car. But maybe like if I could have like a future date later, when I'm ready, like just to show you.
You
how I
only
make-
need to reach out to Faith to schedule that and we can.
Yeah, in like later, yeah.
So are there any more board questions or comments? Are we ready for a motion?
I'll make a motion that we accept the brand called California's Clothing into Village Fest.
Is there a
Thank you.
second?
I second.
Let's vote. David?
We didn't see socks, did we? And you
I
mentioned,
didn't bring the socks.
because that's probably gonna be an issue that we wouldn't have
I
to
would
also.
probably not bring socks to Palm Springs though. No one out here is going to buy socks.
As long
from
as we're
me.
then,
No one
there's
is
no
gonna-
socks.
Yeah,
and
no
that's
one's
where we're
gonna wear
right
socks.
now,
I don't wear socks in
then
Palm
I'm in
Springs.
favor, yes.
So the
Yeah.
motion has been amended.
Yes, you have to amend it.
And do you
I'll amend.
accept that
What did
amendment
we amend it to?
to exclude
To
socks
exclude
and
socks.
jewelry?
Yes,
Okay.
I am making a
Sorry.
motion to exclude socks and jewelry.
Is there a second now?
I second.
All right, are we ready to vote? David?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank
Yes.
you, okay.
I vote
Yes,
yes,
socks.
Dan and
Yes.
Cheryl.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, socks is a little weird for Palm Springs. It's not gonna.
I'm
I'm not wearing any.
I'm not wearing any either.
Those little tank dresses will do.
Yeah, the tank dresses, Market was like, I don't know about the price point, cause they're like 135. The first day up there, they were like, this one lady bought 4, Violet. Like, I'm like, 4? They were like, yeah, they fly, these dresses. Thank you. Okay, so
Thank
it's gonna
you.
take me a little bit for me to like pack
Don't
up on
worry,
the side.
That's fine. And Faith will give you the next steps, so you'll know what to do.
Okay,
Thank you
thank
for being
you.
I like your confidence and your energy too.
Thank you.
Very, yeah. All right, let us move on. Is there any updates on the youth banner or vendor poster initiative?
Since yesterday.
That's right.
Is it finished yet, Joe?
We're gonna work on that and probably be looking to the city camp and the city programs to get the participants for that, because the timing on it might be a little bit too late with the end of the school year. It will be up on us before you know it.
Yes.
Yes, that's what we decided. And as far, oh, okay, I'll wait for you to ask.
Is there any new business?
Oh, but you didn't ask about the vendor post.
Oh, I coupled them together, so
Okay.
please go ahead.
And those were after the survey on the agenda. it looks like. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. The vendor poster contest,
Yeah.
Faith made a great flyer for it and we're looking forward to. The survey was before, and we're looking forward to getting that done, and it's really great to be able to see some of the craftspeople and artists doing that at making things that we could use to be able to promote Village Fest, and at the same time we promote them. So it's a really good collaborative effort, and I think that those will be two great things.
You're gonna hand out the.
Thank you. I'm
And we're
sorry,
gonna hand out the flyers at the birthday party.
I had an older agenda, so
Oh.
that's why I did not. see it.
Okay.
So let's back up then in the Village Fest website. Is there any update there?
So this was requested at our last board meeting to be added to the agenda. We did address some of the conversation yesterday when we talked more about like cohesive marketing plan, some of the concerns that the board had. We're more than welcome to hear that conversation again if the board would like to. Otherwise, I believe we have a significant path forward in terms of marketing, which also includes the website, some of the concerns that were brought forward.
Thank you. I would just like to thank everyone for attending the meeting yesterday. I updated everyone on what we did, but I think it was very productive. And I appreciate all the board member participation, and I believe it will be a very strong step forward for Village Fest for the next 30 years, as I said earlier. So thank you to everyone. Main Street, any comments from Main Street, Joy?
Not really. I think we addressed some of the issues yesterday in the study session that we had, and so I feel confident that anything that was discussed there will be addressed. You know, mostly it's about the locations and the food vendor area and how we do handling any of that. So that's all.
But for the record, I thought you stated yesterday, I just want to make sure I got this right,
Mhm.
that our relationship with the downtown merchants has improved, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I mean, the relationship with the downtown merchants considers to be a total partnership, because if somebody has a problem, like let's say that a restaurant goes to open on a Thursday night and they happen to find a generator in front of their restaurant. I call Jasmine calls Faith, Faith gets down there and it's handled. So, you know, if merchants have a problem, I urge them to let somebody know about it so that it can be addressed and not just discuss it in private amongst yourselves.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Better reception. Subcommittee reports, any update on the marketing or social media? That would be
Nothing new.
new from yesterday.
I got access again.
Yeah, access.
Oh, did you get it?
Yeah, we figured out
Yesterday.
we found out the password and the resets, it was the whole thing.
Yeah, it's saved in the email.
Cheryl, any update on the vendors data?
Not since yesterday.
You know, we really debated whether we should have told.
Item on here, summer logistics.
So this item was requested to be added to this agenda so that we could start a conversation now in the spring as to some path forward for the summer. Some of it was slightly addressed yesterday, but again, I encourage the board to have the conversation in this setting so that staff is aware of how the board would like us to move forward, and then also work with the merchants on some of their concerns regarding Village Fest during the summer season.
So do we need to, sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what we're talking about, like what are the summer
Do you wanna
logistical
bring it
issues?
forward?
Sure. So some of the problems, and just another one that I'm very grateful to be able to discuss it with staff and with the board, is in the summertime, the event usually shrinks up on the south side. And sometimes there might only be 4 booths on that street. So the question is, do we move the booths and open that street, or do we, how that would be handled in the summer? And usually I start getting complaints in June. And by that time, it's way too late. I mean, they do certainly address it, but it's really late to ask staff to start addressing it in June. So if we just had a plan beforehand, it would be a lot better.
So the primary issue is like, should we consolidate locations for the summer? Is that really what we're talking about?
And that's north of.
South.
Arenas to
Not the
Barista,
arenas.
Arenas to Barista, we usually.
But where all the restaurants
So,
are right
so we
there.
wanna be above arenas, basically. Okay.
Or not, or
Yeah.
fill it with something. I
Or
mean,
fill
in
it,
years
yeah,
past,
so,
we've
yeah.
done a lot of things. We have
Either
offered
get to
free
arenas or else we get
booths.
the free stuff.
We've offered free booths to local nonprofits in the summer before. We've offered free booths to neighborhoods in 1PS, organized neighborhoods, to have free booths during the summer. So, I mean, there are some things that we could fill in with as well. So, maybe there's other options besides just stopping it there.
I guess my question in filling it with filler rather than with our standard vendor complement. Is there any value to that? Are we cheapening the event? Are we kind of compromising the purpose of Village Fest by doing that and just filling in the space? Because if so, my preference would be to consolidate and free up that street. If we really think that the merchants down there, the brick and mortar merchants, want something down there, then we start to think about filler and spreading out. But I don't see the value in it.
It's
Yeah.
my conclusion from talking to a lot of the merchants down there. They'd rather have some kind of
Oh, they
activity
would, okay.
than to close it. But if we are only gonna have a few booths, then that's a problem. But I have 100% faith in.
Faith.
So Jasmine and Jasmine, no, I have 100% sure that, whatever it is, they're just gonna figure out what's best for the event and everybody involved, because they always do.
So is it the pleasure of the board to form a subcommittee to have further conversation on this and bring it forward to agendize it and make a recommendation and vote? Or how would we like to proceed with this? Because we can't make any decisions now.
I'd like them to figure it out and bring it back to us what you think works best. You know what vendors leave for the summer. I don't know. You don't know, really. You know what I mean? So they're the best suited to figure out what solution is the best solution.
And then,
How does staff feel about it?
As we talked about before, when we do close Arenas to Barista, it's the vendors that are normally in that space, it's hard to get them to go back. And then once season starts coming, because once we close it, we can't open until October. And if it starts cooling down, we get a lot of vendors back and we're trying to squeeze them in to spaces because we start running out of space in the other one.
So Faith, it's
Wait,
a,
whoa, whoa, whoa. Why could we not open it? Let's say we had people come back in September. Why couldn't we open it up then in September? Why are we stuck to October?
We try and be respectful of our maintenance crew who's responsible for opening and closing it. So we try and give them as much notification as possible. We don't ask them to
Oh, I
make
see. So it's about
adjustments,
event
yeah.
planning.
So
Okay,
and
okay, I got
it's
you.
the same conversation
I got
that
you.
we're having now for heading into June. Like, how much notice can we give to our maintenance staff who is responsible for closing and maintaining those closures throughout the event? So that they can better prepare staffing wise, equipment wise, and to make sure that we're supplying the proper closure for that event. So it's just some pre-planning on both ends, heading into the summer and also coming out of the summer.
But I think we run the risk if we decide to consolidate northward.
Mhm.
I think we run the risk that if some of the vendors wanna come back, we may be too cramped and not have space for them.
And that's what Faith's saying. is the issue. Mhm.
And that would be a really bad thing.
so
For sure, it is. It's very challenging.
Well, I think that is the answer, right? I mean, I don't think there's a decision to be made, I think more than some of the logistics is around figuring out how to fill in that space as much as we can,
Yes.
as you mentioned.
My preference.
Yeah,
Is there an expectation amongst the vendors that my spot is here during high season? And if I have to move, I don't wanna move, do our rules and regulations need to clarify?
You do.
That
The
is-
rules and regulations are very clear.
Okay, so that's not
It
an
is very
issue,
clear, yes.
it's just a
It is.
vendor,
It is a
Yeah.
staff purview to move a vendor at any time for any reason.
okay.
Will the final development of the new theater, the old theater, have anything to do with
Yes,
summer logistics?
It won't actually have to do with summer, it'll have to do with logistics in the next 3 weeks.
Oh,
Where we will start to shift vendors out
Okay.
of that,
Okay.
out of that space, so.
because
yeah.
of the parklet that's coming.
So yeah, there will have an impact for sure. We were given notice, I believe, last week that we need to start preparing for it.
of course.
Yeah,
And I believe that the theater is not planning to have any events on Thursday, am I right?
I've not been updated on that.
that movement will push everyone southward, is
A
that?
little bit, yeah, not enough to fill a block. So I would, encourage the board to have conversation about programs and processes that we possibly could put in place to help fill in some of that space. Joy did mention a couple programs that we've done over the summer. This obviously has been an issue for, a few years. And the board has put in programs to help staff, try and make sure that the space is filled in as best as possible. It can be challenging for staff because it could be any given Thursday where it is, 1:01 and there's clouds and people are like, we can do this, and then. Then it's 1:20 and half the block falls out because no one wants a heat stroke. So we're trying to sometimes make decisions on the spot of, how we adjust vendors. And vendors are very much accustomed to their spot, whether our rules and regulations state we can move them at any time, and to be good. Citizens to our guests, we very much try and oblige to some of their requests,
No matter what we do, someone's going to be unhappy.
for sure.
That's right.
So how would the board like to proceed with this? I think it's an issue, and I think staff is asking for some guidance from us. How do we want to proceed?
Staff would also very much in line with Main Street, would like to keep the street closed. So, I would encourage the board to come up with some ideas that we can then implement on the board's behalf for the summer season.
How do we do that?
Subcommittee.
Subcommittee?
If we have a subcommittee, I would like Joy to be on it since she has experience with this in the past.
Joy?
Would you be interested, Joy, in being on the subcommittee?
I would insist upon it. Just because it saves the aggravation later.
Yeah, exactly. Because all the considerations for the downtown merchants, of course, are gonna be in her focus.
Antonio, would you consider being on that subcommittee? We could even be meeting on the phone.
I was gonna say, it can be remote. I can do
Yeah,
that,
yeah, you don't have to come to a bunch of meetings, but just when things come up and staff has some ideas that we could discuss, and a lot of the business owners on that block already. So I feel like that would be the better way to go, but you need somebody else too.
Yeah.
Sure, what about you?
I'm gonna be busy with the research.
Yes, you are.
I
David,
volunteered
lots of
something with you,
businesses
didn't I?
there.
Yeah. I thought it 2 weeks ago, I signed up for something with you. Maybe we were just joking.
I don't remember.
Oh,
Was
was
it this one? It might have been
Okay,
this one.
sure, count me in.
Okay,
Thank you for raising your hands. So we'll create a new subcommittee. Faith, please.
Yes.
And
The summer subcommittee.
summer.
Logistics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Staff reports.
We just wanted to remind everybody, what was it? Oh, no, the 1 PS, sorry, I should write these down. We just wanna make sure that the board is aware of the 1 PS picnic. Faith has been working hard on creating something that is just slightly different that we've done in the past. So I'm pretty excited about the work she's put in for that, just to kind of highlight some more of our vendors and what they provide to remind all of our lovely residents to come out and enjoy some new things that we are, similar to a conversation we had yesterday about how do we bring more awareness to our residents. Faith
Oh,
is
this
kind of
was
working on-
making making a presentation in front of one PS or
No,
one
no.
PS the
At
picnic?
the
Picnic.
picnic, picnic,
Okay,
March
and what was the
22nd,
date? March
22nd.
22nd.
11
Would we
to
be
2.
meeting with them beforehand?
With the one PS organization, we don't have
Nothing's
that, it was discussed yesterday, but we didn't put anything on the books. yet.
I go to one PS every meeting for a few to remind them about the picnic. Is that what you're asking about?
And other things. I mean,
Yeah, but-
I've had one PS board member yesterday conversation said, I don't even know what village thing is anymore. What is
Oh.
it? It's that thing. I'm like, oh my God, you're.
Then they probably shouldn't be.
You should.
She's just our modernism. We.
I think what you said yesterday was just maybe it would be a good idea for some board member from this commission to present at the one PS meeting. They meet once a month.
Mhm.
And just talk about Village Fest and remind them about Village Fest. And maybe we could even find some new local craftspeople and
Sure.
artisans from that. So
Last
Dan
year,
knows, he's on the board.
last year I sat with Faith at the picnic and it was really a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we
so
encourage you all to come out, if you
Yes.
can participate, we'd appreciate it.
I'm sorry, what was the date? again?
March
March
22nd
22nd.
Yeah,
at Ruth Hardy Park.
sorry.
And then just also remind you all that the week prior to that, we are celebrating our 33rd birthday celebration.
Yes.
And the cupcakes have been ordered, so please come out. The more people that are out, the quicker we get rid of them.
Done on the 13th?
The 13th of March, yes. So if you are able to attend, please do. We have some fun live entertainment, very similar to what we did last year, to really create that fun kind of party atmosphere.
Good. So the cupcakes usually are in the beginning, 5
Ye-
or what?
6.
6.
Mhm.
I think I'm set up, but I'm gonna play it 7.
anything else?
Don't worry, because the cupcakes are gone by like 6:30. Doesn't matter how many thousand we get, right or wrong.
I just did have one other thing. You know, back when Village Fest started all those many years ago, we had a city councilman named Tuck Broik. And he owned the Junk Food Junkie. He was just a very cool dude. And he is actually, I could see from my emails, the person that spearheaded this. And he died last month, Tuck Broik, Village Fest. He was a city councilman that really saw that there was, we were in a bad way, it was during the recession, and he really pushed for it, everybody thought, you know, might be a little nutty, and so I just found out that he passed away, and so I just wanted to just let you guys know, because yeah, he's a real friend to Village Fest.
Thank you for
You're
sharing.
still
that.
here.
Yeah.
Still here all these years later.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion, we go.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, everybody.
We were right. Yeah, bring that some cards. No.
I don't know if it, well, yeah, I guess that's a conversation. Like it was maybe you see slightly close to.
Something.
You, summer, because I start playing the following